Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? So we've got a busy week for Fallout 76 news this week, and hot on the heels of yesterday's video covering the new summer trailer that Bethesda put out, we have a brand new community calendar in today's Inside the Vault blog post. So there's quite a few details in there, giving us an overview of exactly what we can expect to see and when they're planning to release it. And if we actually have a little closer look, there's a few interesting details that we can pull out of this and glean. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay then, so Inside the Vault July updates. Welcome back. This week we've rounded up all the Fallout 76 news you need to know as we head deeper into summertime. Read on for a recap of our upcoming features showcased in our latest trailer, learn about playing Fallout 76 with Xbox Game Pass, and catch a few details about our next iteration of the public test server. We've also included a fresh community calendar that highlights everything coming your way from now to September. So, till the middle of September, basically, this. So, yeah, it's basically going over the details of what we've seen before, but there are also some new bits and pieces here that we can pull out. So I'm going to focus more on those and sort of skate over the stuff I've covered over the last couple of days, because we've covered it enough times. So, new update trailer covered in yesterday's video, available up here if you want to check that one out. But there's some cool new stuff in there, a little sneak peek of interesting locations and some of the new features. And of course, it's fun to watch. It's only about a minute and a half. The trailer, that is. The video's a bit longer. But if you want to take a look at that, good thing to have a look at. So, in case you missed it, we released Update 20 earlier this week. Don't think many people missed it, to be honest. And a brand new trailer highlighting some of the new features that arrived with the patch, as well as some that are coming over the next couple of months. Here's a rundown of what arrived in Update 20, and what's on the way to Fallout 76 with future updates. So, Legendary Run, the new season. Had a look at that. We've started it already. Hopefully going to be taking a bit more of a look at it once again this evening. Actually, no, that's tomorrow evening. Deus Ex is this evening. We all know the details on that. Previous videos you can check out. We have playlists linked up here with all the videos and details, so if you want to go back and review, you certainly can. Public teams, also available now. We know the details of that one. Head over to your social page and create or join an existing public team with a specific set of goals. Get some bonuses whilst you're playing in a team. Colossal Problem. Now this is getting into new stuff. Future updates. This was supposed to come out at the start of this week, but they weren't quite happy with the polish, and the performance, I believe, was an issue on it as well. So they've pushed that one back a little bit, as we'll see in a moment. But the general idea, grab a nuclear keycard and light up the sky above Monongah Mine. Head deep below Appalachia's surface, take on a treacherous, legendary Wendigo Colossus. Join up to 8 other dwellers in this public event that is currently planned for our next patch. So it's comparable in some ways to Scorched Earth. Obviously, you have to launch a nuke to start the event, although Scorched Earth doesn't actually have a limit other than the number of players on a server to how many people can be involved with it. This one is limited to 8, so it's a smaller scale thing, but as with Scorched Earth, you launch a nuke, target the appropriate location, event will start, you go down the mine, you get into a fight with a really badass Wendigo Colossus. It looks pretty cool. The feedback from what I've heard from the PTS has been pretty solid. Some ironing out of wrinkles needed, which is why it's been delayed, but it looks like a cool event, if a little smaller in scale than the Scorched Beast Queen. It's also an in-game event, so designed for high-level players. So that's also something to bear in mind. Coming in, I believe it's August, that one. The next patch, from what I understand. Legendary Perks, also a future update. We covered that a little bit yesterday as well. After reaching level 50, you gain legendary perk cards that you can equip and upgrade over time to become even more powerful and add a few more tricks up your sleeves. So for high-level characters, they'll also spread across account-wide. So exactly how this is going to work, I'm not entirely sure, but if you've got one character past level 50, I think the gist of it is you get one legendary perk. If you've got past level 100, you get another slot, and so on and so forth. But, yeah, it also works kind of account-wide, so it's a bit funny. Basically means that a brand new character could potentially have a legendary perk, which is interesting. But we'll see more when the actual release comes. Obviously, they'll have to overhaul it a bit due to the somewhat less than impressed feedback they received. And community challenges. This is a big thing we talked about yesterday as well. The Brotherhood of Steel has an eye on Appalachia. We've got new community challenges that you and your fellow adventurers can take part in to herald their return and claim some new rewards. We'll have a little gander at that in a moment as well, but it's a new community-wide kind of longer-term event type deal that we can all get involved with and get some cool rewards. The more we contribute and get involved with it, the better the rewards. It's usually the way these things work. So, cool things to look forward to. Play Fallout 76 with Xbox Game Pass. We are excited to announce that Fallout 76 is coming to Xbox Game Pass next week on Thursday, July 9th. So, a week today. That means that Xbox Game Pass console members will be able to play Fallout 76 for free on Xbox One, and for the first time ever, Xbox Game Pass for PC members will be able to take on the Wasteland through the Windows 10 store. If you already have Game Pass Ultimate, you can venture into Appalachia using both your Xbox One and your PC. So you can use multiple platforms. That's interesting. If you already play Fallout 76 on PC and decide to make the jump to Game Pass, all of the progress you've made will still be waiting for you as soon as you log into the game. Very cool. Your friends list will also stay the same because all PC players will play together regardless of the launcher they use. So it's multiple access points to a single platform, basically, is the way the launchers are working. So, as you'll see in a moment, that means it's probably not worthwhile suddenly changing where you are, because it's just not necessary. There are no particular benefits and a couple of drawbacks, but as we'll see in a moment, due to technical limitations, you will not be able to transfer your Atom Balance or Fallout First membership from your Bethesda Net or Steam version of the game to the Windows 10 store version of the game, i.e. this Xbox Game Pass version. Atoms you earn in-game are also specific to one platform or the other, so your Atom Balance, whatever form it may take, won't transfer. However, items you purchased through the Atomic Shop or items that you've claimed through the Season Pass will be available to you on any platform or via any launcher. So, short version, I think if you've not played the game or you know somebody who hasn't and wants to play on either Xbox or PC that has Game Pass, this is an opportunity to get in there and not spend any further cash to try the game out. So it's cool from that regard, but if you're on PC and you have Game Pass on Xbox as well, you can hop and switch backward and forward between the two, which means you can then play with people who you might know on Xbox if you usually play on PC, or vice versa. Although your Atom Balance and Fallout First membership won't go across if you have those. The things you've bought will. So, mixed blessing. Kind of good if you do want to play on Xbox with friends and you haven't been able to up to now, but it does come with some drawbacks. In general, however, from the look of this, switching between PC platforms is kind of pointless because you lose your membership and you lose your atoms, even if you are keeping the things you bought with them. But you don't get any extra benefits because you're still in the same pool, basically, as everybody else on PC. So you might as well stick with whatever launcher you're already on, which is basically what I've done. I'm staying on Bethesda Net because I've been there since, well, the beta for the game way back when. So that's my take on this, but yeah, if you happen to know somebody who hasn't tried out the game yet and might be interested in doing so, they can do it for free via Game Pass if they so desire. So, beat the summer heat. Short version. Over the coming months, we're planning to release additional patches for Fallout 76, no surprises there, and kick off limited time events, including bonus S.C.O.R.E weekends. This will be interesting in a moment. And the return of Meat Week, a host of new community challenges, and more. Our community calendar has everything you need to know, so be sure to pencil everything into your schedule so that you don't miss a moment of the action. It's a long-ass sentence. Or it felt like it anyway. So, new community calendar. Some very, very cool stuff in here that we're going to have a look at. Covers obviously some of the stuff that's already been released, and at the end of it's a little less specific, but there's still some cool stuff there. So let's have a quick gander at this. So, live now, patch 20, yep, we already know that came out on Tuesday, including the Legendary Run and public teams. Looking forward to July. Well, looking forward, we're already in July, but this month. Xbox Game Pass and Appalachia Starter Bundle release on July 9th, so that's next Thursday. This Starter Bundle, they haven't actually told us anything about. I'd imagine we'll hear more about it probably next week, possibly also via social media, so keep an eye on that. Obviously, I'll share anything I hear on my social media as well, so if you haven't already, all down in the description for you. But yeah, I'm guessing this starter bundle will basically be a few bits and pieces to get a brand new character off the ground a little quicker. So nothing spectacular, but just nice to have that get you moving a bit quicker. Next weekend, not this one coming, the one after, we have a Purveyor sale, 25% off all legendaries bought from Purveyor, which I have been waiting for a while. It's been a little while since we've had one of these. I'm not surprised to see one come along, as they've done a couple of mystery pick events, but no sale in a while, as I say. So I expected this to be coming fairly soon. Glad to see that it is. That's next weekend. So, the week after that, the new Season Pass goes purchasable, i.e. you'll be able to buy ranks with atoms. This is already announced, we knew about this, but if you feel the need to, you can spend atoms to gain ranks, one at a time, and it's a lot of atoms, but the option becomes available. And that weekend, July 16th through to the 20th, we have a double XP weekend, which is cool, because apart from all of the usual benefits from double XP, everything you'd expect, this will also impact your score rating. So obviously you need to earn score points to rank up in the Season Pass, but one of the weekly rewards you can get is based on earning 10,000 XP. It's also a repeatable event, so by the time you hit this double XP weekend, you'll be able to earn a lot more XP, double, funnily enough, and that will then obviously have a knock-on effect on that particular repeatable score earning event, so you'll be able to hit that 10,000 twice as quickly, and therefore earn more score more quickly during this double XP weekend. Which leads neatly on to the next weekend, which is a high score weekend, in which daily events will be giving you double score points, so even more score to be earned there. So I'm sure some of you guys have heard this as well. Some of the articles floating around online and some of the stuff on Reddit are basically implying that there is not enough score available to actually complete the legendary run, which is bollocks, I believe is the word I'm looking for. Others have suggested that if you miss any of the dailies, you also won't be able to complete it without spending atoms. This is also bollocks. There are enough score points available for you to complete it. In fact, there's actually a little bit of leeway in there. Not a massive amount, but there is leeway, so you can miss some of the dailies and stuff and still be fine. And if you're doing weeklies as well, then you've got plenty of room to succeed and get all of the levels. That being said, the higher levels are harder to get. That's the general idea. It's supposed to encourage people to play more and to reward those who play the most. So there's cool stuff at the front end for those who don't play as much, which is great. Admittedly, the ammo converter has turned out to be bit mediocre. Some stuff's better than others, but it's a bit meh. Hopefully Bethesda will tweak that with the feedback coming their way. I'm sure they will. But beyond that, it's cosmetic rewards, and you can get through this perfectly comfortably without actually spending a damn penny. So, contrary to what Reddit is inaccurately claiming, and certain journalists are then parroting in their articles, you can complete this just fine. And of course, once you factor in these double score weekends and double XP weekends and stuff, it just makes it that much easier. So that's worth knowing. So yeah, don't worry about it not being doable or it being that hard to do. It's the high levels, as I say, they're intended to require a high amount of time put into the game. That's the point of the thing, really. That's the way season passes work. But it is certainly very doable. You just have to do it, in short. So I thought I'll address that little issue, seeing as it seems to be popping up, and doubtless somebody will have something to say about it. So there we go. So July 31st, around Appalachia, Creature Feature Gallery goes live. So that's another photo challenge that ends and goes live at the end of July, and the new one starts for Team Player on the same day. So photo mode challenges available via the forums if you're interested in such things. Moving on to August, we have Patch 21 release on August 4th, so right at the start of August. Very cool, basically a month on from Patch 20. About what you'd expect. And that will bring a colossal problem, along with, as usual, a load of bug fixes. So, not a big patch there, but new event coming, new thing to engage with, something fun to do, and a whole load of bug fixes, assuming, of course, everything goes according to plan, which they've had plenty of time to work on this now, and it was nearly ready last time around, so I would expect it to be on schedule, to be honest, is the phrase I'm looking for. So that should be cool. August 7th to 9th, daily developer and community streams for QuakeCon at home. So QuakeCon, obviously, is Bethesda's convention, I suppose, is the right word, that they do every year in August. Normally, the way it works is they give us a teaser of what their games are going to be at E3, and then give us a whole load more details at QuakeCon about a month later. Or 2 months later, rather. But obviously, E3 hasn't happened this year with COVID and everything, but they're still doing QuakeCon as a online event, which a lot of people have been doing over the course of the summer to replace E3 in light of COVID. So Bethesda are doing the same thing with this, so we'll get a whole load more details on upcoming stuff, presumably all the Brotherhood of Steel stuff. That should be very, very cool to see, and various other bits and pieces. I imagine we'll get a whole load more details on legendary perks as well. That'll doubtless be the equivalent of a panel, which will basically take a live stream form, I'm sure. So something to keep an eye out for there. Loads more details coming, and of course, loads of other Bethesda games will be getting showcased and more details being released. One of the big ones will be Deathloop, as that's due out at the end of the year, so something to look forward to there. I'm kind of on the fence leaning towards in favour of Deathloop at the minute. Still not quite sure, but it looks quite interesting. So, big community project. This is the brand new thing that they've dropped on us yesterday and today that we previously knew nothing about. Fortifying Atlas, a community project alpha, which has actually got 2 parts listed here. So that comes on the 8th of August, runs through to the 17th. So we're looking at there, 9 days. So a week and a weekend. So the basic gist of this is it's a new community goal focused on the Brotherhood of Steel. Presumably some advanced scouts are going to arrive at the Atlas Observatory, smack in the middle of the Savage Divide, and begin converting that into a sort of Foundation crater equivalent for the Brotherhood of Steel, basically a base of operations meets a settlement. and they want the community's help to help build it up. So presumably that will involve gathering and collecting resources and donating them to the building effort, and presumably some fending off of threats to the location as well. I would imagine things like that, possibly even clearing, like going in there and doing it as a kind of event and cleaning out the building of all the hostile robots that are in there. That sort of thing. Obviously, it'll be a community-wide thing, and it will contribute to essentially a progress bar, if it works the way it does in other games anyway. And the more we contribute, the more rewards we'll get as a community as well. So, one new thing to engage with, just something extra to be doing with your time in Fallout, which is always good. So good to see a lot of that coming over the summer. It's been a gripe of mine since the end of getting through Wastelanders, so more content is definitely what we need. Meat Week comes back in the middle of August. That's 18th through 24th. That's a weekend, following Project Alpha. So, summer event, Graham's Cook-Off, far from Vault 76. Some unique items available, probably some new ones as well, so that should be cool. Photo Mode Challenge ends on the 21st, and then the next one starts as well. That's Team Player ending Cryptid Timber. Starting afterwards, going on to a cryptid-themed one. And then Project Bravo for Fortifying Atlas, which is a second phase, and presumably with a second set of rewards to be gained from it. Starts on August 29th, runs through till September the 9th. So that's everything we've got specific dates for. Moving into September, presumably the start of, we'll see patch 22. We're also going to get One Wasteland, Fallout 76 Season 2, Daily Ops, and Legendary Perks. Now, Season 2 won't start until the middle of the month. So exactly when patch 22 will come out, it's open to some interpretation. I don't expect all of this will be in the one patch. It does kind of look like it is, but I'd be surprised if it's not over, say, 22 and 23. But we'll see. So One Wasteland, obviously, is the rebalance pass that they're working on. The idea that you can go anywhere and encounter a reasonable challenge tailored to your level. So you will be able to go to the Cranberry Bog at level 2 and still have a good time and not get absolutely slaughtered. Whereas if you're level 500, you'll still be able to meet appropriate challenges in the forest region as well. It's the general idea. It's also going to accommodate groups, so if you're in a team, it'll work with your levels, even if you've got a range of them, so that you get appropriate challenges no matter where you are. That's the idea. And it's also going to come with a whole load of changes to weapons and armor and things like that. Presumably, they've basically implied it will. That will basically make things rebalance and hopefully change up some builds and make a few more viable, make a few less ridiculously OP. So there'll be some people happy, there'll be some people not, but it should make for a more balanced game with a return of a challenge to it, which, as I said before, 76 is not the toughest game in the world. There are reasons for that. Obviously, they don't want to exclude the most casual players just to give a challenge to the most hardcore ones, and vice versa. So there's that kind of balance is what they're looking for with One Wasteland, so hopefully that should be pretty cool. Season 2, as I say, will start mid-September, possibly the end of September, more likely start of October. We don't know what theme it's going to have, anything like that, but we know it's coming. Daily Operations, Daily Ops. So this is a new piece of repeatable content that I think is going to be more group-focused and relatively high level. It's, let's say, daily repeatable content with rewards, that sort of thing. It's expanding the end game is the idea with this. I'm pretty sure from what they've said and implied and the tone of things. So that's my guess. But that should be coming September onwards. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if either One Wasteland or Daily Ops come later than patch 22. One of those I would expect to get pushed back, and Season 2 won't be starting until the middle of the month anyway, so it's kind of a separate issue. So I'd imagine these are all separate things rather than implied they're coming together. And of course, Legendary Perks, that should give them plenty of time to overhaul and rework them, so something cool to look forward to. I'm going to go with about the same time as the start of Season 2 for when that will release, but we'll find out more probably in August. So, very, very cool. And last but not least, Update 21, which is the upcoming patch for August, is coming to the public test server next week. So, those of you who like testing these things out, you can jump on there. Next week, we're aiming to reopen Fallout 76 public test server once again, this time with a focus on the impending Update 21, which is currently slated for August release. While this patch mainly contains bug fixes and other improvements, we're also hoping you'll head back into Monongah Mine to share a new round of feedback with us about the public event, A Colossal Problem. So, last bit of tweaks and feedback, hopefully, over the next month or so. And one last thing before you go, have you checked your Pip-Boy radio recently? Got a little comment about this the other day, so I'm going to have to check it out myself. A new broadcast has appeared within the last couple of days, but it sounds just like noise to us. We've been scratching our heads listening to it, but maybe those of you with high real-life perception can iron out these cryptic communications. So we know there's a Brotherhood of Steel one there with a little announcement that the Brotherhood is approaching. But beyond that, it sounds like there's some hidden clues in this broadcast for us to try and break down and figure out. So, not something I'm particularly good at, but I imagine the community will be tackling that with a vengeance, and that should be very, very interesting before too long. Should be quite cool. So, there we have it. A lot of details about what's coming up over the summer. Some cool stuff that we can glean from this as well, and hopefully some reassurance in here as well, which is cool when you actually factor in things relating to S.C.O.R.E and stuff like that within your season pass. So, yeah, it looks like there's good stuff coming this summer. A lot of it's about what we'd expect, but there's also some cool new details and new events and more stuff to sink our teeth into, which is good, because, as I said, particularly now that Wasteland has been out for a few months, most of us, I think, have worked our way through all the content on that, and we're just at the end-game grind, which needs to be made more interesting quite quickly. But obviously, season passes and new community challenges, things like that, are all geared towards giving us more and more interesting things to do. So hopefully that should be quite cool. All in all, I think we've got some good stuff to look forward to this summer. So doubtless we'll be getting more details over coming weeks. So do watch the space for yet more news videos. And do watch the space for an upcoming build video, which I've got well underway. So hopefully that'll be tomorrow. Failing that, I'll have it up on Saturday, one or the other. So do watch the space for that. Lots of cool stuff. And of course, more live streams coming up as well. We've got Deus Ex, if all goes according to plan, this evening. And then Fallout tomorrow night. And then we're back on to our usual schedule next week. So that brings us to a reasonable conclusion. As per usual, you guys know where all the social media links are and all the buttons if you'd like to hit those. Very, very much appreciated. And do catch the live streams if you get a chance as well. And if you're interested in such things, you can support the channel directly, either becoming a channel member, which is humongously appreciated, or you can check out the merch store, which is down in the description as well. Got some cool new t-shirts, and I'm looking forward to mine arriving fairly soon. So I do hope you guys will check those out as well. For now, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.